Tonight we turn our attention to a story that could redraw the map of global trade. Imagine a new waterway, a massive channel carved through the heart of Central America. This isn't a distant dream, it's a $50 billion reality taking shape in Nicaragua, backed by China. The project aims to rival the legendary Panama Canal, shaking up international shipping, politics and finance. For over a century, Panama has held a near monopoly on this critical maritime shortcut. Now that dominance is being challenged. The Nicaragua Grand Canal could offer a wider, deeper route for the world's largest ships, lowering shipping costs for everything from oil to electronics. This is more than just construction, it's about shifting the balance of power. By financing and potentially building this canal, China is planting a major economic and strategic flag in the Western Hemisphere. The move raises profound questions for the United States and its allies. How will Washington respond to a significant Chinese presence so close to its borders? For Nicaragua, one of the poorest countries in the Americas, the canal promises an economic miracle, but for others, it represents a potential environmental catastrophe and a threat to sovereignty. It's a high-stakes gamble with the potential for incredible reward or devastating failure. Over the next hour, we'll explore the history, the players, the risks, and the monumental changes this project could bring. The idea of cutting a canal through Central America is nearly as old as the discovery of the Americas. In the 16th century, King Charles V of Spain ordered the first surveys for a possible route through Nicaragua, using Lake Nicaragua and the San Juan River. For centuries, the Nicaraguan route was the favored option, with figures like Cornelius Vanderbilt proving its viability during the California gold rush. The natural geography seemed ideal, less excavation than Panama, more direct. But in the early 1900s, the US chose Panama. Swayed by political maneuvering and clever lobbying, the Panama Canal became a global marvel, but its limitations grew as ships got bigger. Nicaragua's dream never died. It became a symbol of national ambition and missed opportunity. The idea was revived throughout the 20th century, always just out of reach. Now, with China's backing, that centuries-old vision is being resurrected on a scale its original proponents could never have imagined. The world is watching as Nicaragua's old dream becomes a new geopolitical reality. The stakes are higher than ever, and the outcome could reshape global trade. The question, will Nicaragua finally claim its place at the center of world commerce? China's involvement in the Nicaragua Canal is a calculated move with clear economic and strategic goals. As the world's largest exporter, China depends on secure maritime trade routes that currently hinge on the US-influenced Panama Canal. By backing a second canal, China aims to diversify its trade routes and reduce reliance on a single choke point. The Nicaragua Canal, designed for the largest ships, would let China move oil, minerals, and goods more efficiently to the US East Coast and Europe. This isn't just about convenience. It's about gaining a competitive edge and leverage in global trade. The project fits China's Belt and Road Initiative, expanding its influence into America's backyard. It's a bold challenge to the Monroe Doctrine and a statement of China's global ambitions. By funding a project that could lift Nicaragua out of poverty, China positions itself as a partner for developing nations, an alternative to Western-led institutions. The canal gives China a physical and economic anchor in the Western Hemisphere. It's a long-term play for influence, with a waterway of steel and concrete at its center. For Beijing, this is about more than profit. It's about power. The world is watching to see if this gamble pays off. The stakes couldn't be higher. The Nicaragua Grand Canal is a colossal undertaking, over 270 kilometers long, more than 3 times the length of the Panama Canal. It's designed to handle the next generation of massive ships, with 2 deep water ports, a free trade zone, an international airport, and new roads and resorts. The Hong Kong Nicaragua Canal Development Investment Company, led by Wang Jing, holds a 50-year concession to build and operate the canal. The agreement gives the company sweeping powers, including land expropriation and tax exemptions. President Ortega hails the project as Nicaragua's economic salvation. The route cuts from the Pacific's Brito River across Lake Nicaragua to the Caribbean's Punta Gorda River. Engineering challenges are immense. Billions of cubic meters of earth must be moved. The timeline is ambitious, but large-scale construction has faced repeated delays. Financing and feasibility studies remain major hurdles. The world waits to see if this mega project will move from blueprint to reality. As of late 2025, the Nicaragua Canal is a mix of political promises and slow, uneven progress. The government, led by President Ortega, insists the canal is essential for economic independence, but financing remains elusive. HKND's Wang Jing has struggled to secure the full $50 billion investment, especially after personal financial setbacks. While China's official support is ambiguous, analysts believe state-owned banks may be quietly involved. Social unrest is growing. Tens of thousands of farmers and indigenous people face displacement, sparking widespread protests. Preliminary work like access roads and surveys is underway, but major excavation hasn't begun. The project is politically alive but stalled, awaiting capital and the will to overcome fierce opposition. Nicaragua stands at a crossroads, with its future hanging in the balance. If completed, the Nicaragua Canal would upend global maritime trade. It would introduce competition to the Panama Canal, creating redundancy and resilience in a critical supply chain. The new canal's size would allow the world's largest ships to bypass longer routes, cutting costs and transit times. Shipping companies could achieve greater economies of scale, potentially lowering prices for consumers worldwide. The canal would shift trade flows, boosting US East and Gulf Coast ports while challenging West Coast dominance. Logistics infrastructure across the Americas would need to adapt. Politically, Nicaragua would gain new leverage, while Panama faces its first real competition in a century. The project could redefine Latin America's role in global trade. It's a symbol of a new, multipolar world where emerging powers like China can reshape the global order. The stakes for commerce and power have never been higher. The Nicaragua Canal promises prosperity, but at a steep environmental and social cost. The route cuts through Lake Nicaragua, threatening water quality and delicate ecosystems. Dredging could release toxins, endangering drinking water and biodiversity. The canal would destroy rainforests and habitats, risking invasive species and loss of wildlife. Nearly 30,000 people, mostly farmers and indigenous communities, face displacement with fears of unfair compensation. Grassroots opposition is fierce, arguing the project sacrifices heritage and rights for speculative gain. The nation is deeply divided, with prosperity pitted against preservation. The future of Nicaragua's land, people, and identity hangs in the balance. Experts are divided on the canal's viability. Dr. Margaret Myers notes that while China's strategic logic is clear, the economic case is shaky, especially after the Panama Canal's expansion. The Nicaragua Canal targets the largest ships, but that's a niche market. The project's success depends on future shipping trends and massive, uncertain investment. HKND has struggled to secure broad financial backing, fueling speculation that the project is more geopolitical than commercial. If it's a strategic play, success may be measured in influence, not profit. The canal is a high-stakes gamble, potential masterstroke or costly white elephant. Its fate depends on global trade, Chinese patience, Nicaraguan stability, and overcoming immense obstacles. The world is watching one of the boldest infrastructure bets of the century. The Nicaragua Canal is more than a construction project. It's a symbol of ambition, risk, and shifting global power. It offers hope for economic transformation, but threatens ecosystems and communities. For Nicaragua, it's a choice between heritage and a high-risk economic bet. For China, it's a move to project power and challenge the global order. For the US and others, it's a test of how to respond to new realities in their own hemisphere. The decisions made now will echo for generations, shaping trade and international relations. The story is far from over, its final chapter unwritten. Will this canal unite economies or deepen divides? The world is watching. The path between the oceans is also a path to a new world. What kind of world will it be?